I'm 34 years old, and if I'm being completely honest with you, I have almost nothing to show for it financially. No big investment portfolio, no passive income. I spent my 20s just surviving. And one day I sat down and I actually ran the numbers on what that cost me, and it genuinely scared me. But here's the thing, that fear turned into a plan, and today I'm gonna walk you through exactly what that plan looks like. Because if you're in the same position, this video is literally for you. Now, here's what nobody tells you about your 30s. Everyone around you looks like they have it together. Your friends are buying houses, posting vacation photos, talking about their pension packages, and you're sitting there thinking, did I miss something? Did I mess up somewhere in my 20s? The answer for most of us is kinda yes. But here's what I want you to hear. It doesn't matter because the research is on our side. Starting to build wealth at 30 with urgency is genuinely one of the most powerful positions you can be in. Not because it's ideal, but because we are old enough to be serious and young enough for compound interest to still do most of the heavy lifting. Let me show you exactly what I mean. Now, quickly, my name is Yorgo. I'm not a financial advisor and I don't have a finance degree. I'm not going to sit in front of a Lambo and tell you I cracked the code. I'm just a regular person who woke up at age 34 and decided to get serious about money. And I want to bring you along for the whole honest journey. The wins, the mistakes, the actual numbers. I have some experience with stock investing and crypto, nothing crazy, but enough to have dipped my feet in the water and know the basics. I've started building a real saving system that I'm excited to show you today. And I'll mention key mistakes to avoid when starting out. So here's the actual plan, broken into 3 pillars, not 5, not 10, simple 3-step process. So before you invest a single dollar, we have to stop the money from leaking out. My system is simple. I pay myself first every month before I pay any bill or buy anything. A fixed amount goes into a separate savings account. I don't see it, I don't touch it. Right now, that number is sitting at $4,267. Small? Maybe, but it's consistent. I'm prioritizing adding to this savings account every month. And consistency beats perfection every single time. Now for step 2, once I have a savings buffer, some people call it a runway, then I invest. Basically, if you got fired today, how long could you survive before you're out on the streets? The math is simple. Calculate your monthly expenses and multiply it by 6. That's your goal of how much to have in your savings account before you can start investing. A quick example is, let's say you have $1,000 for simplicity's sake in monthly expenses, then you want to have $6,000 in your savings account, just in case an emergency comes up. A lot of people have peace of mind knowing that the money is there to use right away. Next, we can start investing. Simple with index funds, not individual stocks, not meme coins, basic, boring index funds that track the market. I have some individual stocks too, and I will share those later on in the channel. But the foundation is index funds. Here's why. The S&P 500 has consistently outpaced inflation for the past 100 years. Let that sink in. Since 1926, the return of this index fund has been 7%, and inflation is currently at 3.3%. So the data says this is the right starting point, and I believe it. Now, for step number 3, you might have heard that diversification is best. Do not put all of your eggs in one basket. That's why the S&P 500 works, because we're not betting on one company, but 500. So crypto will be the most controversial part of my plan, and I do get it, it's volatile, it's risky, people have lost everything. But here's how I think about it. A small percentage of my portfolio, and I mean small, roughly 10%, goes into crypto. Not because I'm gambling, because I have done the research and I believe in specific projects. And at 34, I can afford to take a calculated risk with a small slice. The key word is calculated. So 10% of my portfolio will go into Bitcoin. Now, the key isn't to wait around until prices drop, but it is to start now. Remember, this is for the long term. We're talking 20 to 30 years from now. Now, hey, quick pause. If any of this is resonating with you, do me a favor and subscribe. I'm gonna be posting this entire journey, the numbers, the decisions, the results, every week. You don't wanna miss what comes next. So what does the end of this actually look like? What am I aiming for at age 44? Financial freedom doesn't mean being rich. It means having invested enough passive income that your money covers your basic expenses without you needing to work. That's it. That's my goal. Based on my current income and savings rate, here's what the math says. If I invest $500 a month consistently for the next 10 years, even at a modest 7% average return, I'll have $86,542. Is that enough to retire? Not quite, but it's enough to have options, to choose work I love instead of work I need. That's what I'm chasing. And the reason I'm telling you this publicly with real numbers is accountability. You're watching, I have to show up. Here's the one thing I wish someone had told me a little bit earlier. The biggest financial mistake I made in my 20s wasn't that I didn't invest enough. It was that I kept waiting until I felt ready, until I had more money, until I understood more, until the market was less scary. That waiting cost me years of compound growth I can never get back. So if you're 30 or 28 or 35, you've been waiting to start. This is the moment. Not next month, now. Start imperfect. Start small. Just start. That's the plan. Saving system, index fund, and a small crypto position. Documented publicly, every step. Next week, I'm going to walk you through the exact saving system I built, the numbers, the apps I use, and how I set everything up in roughly 20 minutes. So subscribe because you don't want to miss out on that. And if you're in this situation, starting at 30 with not much saved, drop a comment below. Tell me where you're starting from. I read every single one. We're in this together. I'm going to see you in the next video.